Wow, wow. My goodness, what a start to Premier League weekend with Burnley hosting Arsenal 1-1. Not sure I saw that game developing in this way. Not just, actually was entertained, and a number of chances, the result, and of course the controversy in the game as well. First, before we get to the controversy, again, you have to look at the situation. You have to say that Arsenal, once again, didn't show the quality that's necessary for them to become a top four team this season for sure. We'll see what happens in the future. I think Mikel Arteta has hinted at that before the game a little bit, that his team is nowhere near to where he wants them to be. And I think he was talking about it in the context of course, their position in the table. But I think deep down he was even talking about the quality of the team, because you have to say that there may be 4 or 5 players that are at the level of Arsenal that I think everyone remembers, an Arsenal team that can legitimately challenge for the top 4 and maybe for other trophies as well. And I think this was all on display, because this game should have easily been won, 3-4-0 really. Pepe's chances, if you just look at the last minute and that pinball situation, they've had a chance to score 3 goals in that one play. Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang had a shot blocked. He's got to put that away. I think at his best he does that. I think there was a follow-up from Saka, which I'm not saying has to be a goal, but could have been. And even the strike from Ceballos that hits the post, maybe a little bit unlucky, but I think, between all those, you see a winner there, controversy or not. Now, to get to the controversy, I'm going to skip, the red card and the second penalty on Eric Peters, because he was involved on both, because it was the right decision. Let's forget about that. But the first one, I have a massive problem with, because to me, it's an easy decision, and I'm not sure what the controversy is. However, I am sure that this, you will hear number of opinions, number of explanation, gray area, splitting hair on this, in a decision that I think was very, very easy. Because if that's not a penalty, what is? 99.9% of handballs are not handballs anymore. If this isn't a red card, or not red card, but a penalty because of a handball. What else do you have to do? Catch the ball in the penalty area, or maybe intentionally stop the ball on the line, because if you don't, it's a goal, and you make that decision. If you look at that closely, people will say proximity, not an issue for me. They will say natural or unnatural position, not an issue. Because I've been in this situation, and here it is. Eric Peters knew that he was beaten by Pepe in that situation. He was flat-footed. In fact, when he flicks that ball, that's much, much different than maybe a strong strike from close, where you absolutely have 0 chance of withdrawing that arm. And I don't think that Eric Peters had a chance to withdraw that arm. But I'll go even further, because part of me thinks, if you watch that closely, that the moment that ball's flicked, he actually almost extends that arm even a little bit more. It really, this is a little bit, guessing on my part, but he will, that's a skill, because Pepe is trying to go around him right there, and it doesn't matter if it's intentional or not. He's there. There's no other way to do that with that bouncing ball, and I think as he flicks that's a little bit of a skill there. And here's Eric Peters, arms totally outstretched. Again, I am sure that, I don't know if he's going to be protected, but I think you're going to see some sort of a nuance and an incredible explanation where the referees and IFAB and the laws of the game will try to explain it to you in some convoluted way, and why that possibly was the right decision. Where in fact, in all its simplicity, this is as close as it gets to a nailed-on handball, or a definition of what a handball is, when you put your arms out and stopping a player that's trying to go around you. And we of course all know that intention doesn't play into it as well. So again, I feel to some degree, as a former defender, I would have argued that as well, But if you want to be honest and if you want to be logical, you will understand that this should have been a penalty. And from then on, if the subsequent penalty shot would have been scored, I think Arsenal would have gone on to win this game and get the 3 points. But they didn't. A lot of credit has to go to Burnley, because it didn't look good early on when Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang scored. But once the equalizer came, and I think we all know the massive mistakes on that, not just from Xhaka, but from Leno and from a number of players there, as Arsenal were trying to play out of the back, they got caught, and that happens. I think in a way Burnley went from strength to strength. After halftime, for good 15, maybe 20 minutes, I thought that they were good and they looked close to scoring, right? And remember Vidra playing that wonderful ball to Chris Wood, one-on-one with Leno, who by the way made a great save on that one. Just before that, maybe a minute before that, Eric Peters, been busy for a substitute. Eric Peters had a great shot saved by Leno as well, full stretch from distance. Burnley were not just an innocent bystander. They had to go with a little bit of luck in terms of that equalizer. They had to go, and they had their chances. But ultimately, when you look at that controversy or not, I think between the chances that Pepe had, a couple of them, and towards the end of the games, those 3 chances that I talked about a little bit earlier, this should have been an easy 3 points for Arsenal. They aren't, and I don't want to excuse that by the handball controversy, but I think it was important to talk about it, because this is a bigger issue of not just VAR, but people that deal with these decisions on and off the pitch. And in my opinion, they made a massive mistake.